Hey there! Story time! So as the name of the video suggests, today I'll be telling the story of the 3 times that I nearly fainted. Yeah. So let's get to it. Okay, the first time was a long time ago, so I don't really remember it perfectly, but this is just what I remember, so... I was really sick and I had a fever. So I went to the toilet to, throw up. Yeah. And I don't really remember a lot of it, but I remember feeling really dizzy and kind of losing my sight. And I remember thinking, am I dying? Because if I am, then I'm actually slightly okay with this. I'll just accept my death. It was really kind of weird. Number 2, the yearbook photo. Okay, so when I was going into 7th grade, we had to go and take yearbook photos, and it was done really early in the morning. And as it was still summer when we did this, I was extremely sleep deprived because I stay up too late. So when they took the picture, the flash had completely blinded me and I fell over. As you can imagine, the photo turned out pretty terrible. And here's my impression of what I look like in the photo. Beautiful, isn't it? And the thing is, they didn't even retake it. So they left the photo of me fainting in the yearbook and on my student ID. And then the nurse brought a wheelchair and rolled me out of there. And on the way out, I passed one of my friends and she was like, "What?" So then I just told her, "Oh, I'll explain it later." And that's the story of why my 7th grade yearbook picture looks really terrible, aka the 2nd time I fainted. Now on to the 3rd time, PE. Now this one's probably going to take a lot longer of a time than the other 2 stories since, 1, I remember it better, and 2, it was the most traumatizing. So I've never been good with physical activity, especially running. So since I was absent a lot that year, they made me make it up by, you guessed it, running! Now here's the thing. 1, we didn't have a lot of food at home because of financial reasons, which means I didn't eat anything that day. 2, I was very sleep deprived. And 3, it was hot as hell that day, and I didn't have any water. And to top all that off, I'm pretty sure I was also on my period at the time. So at the time, we were up on this hill thing where there was a field up there and then there was a ramp going down, and it's kind of hard for me to explain, but if you went to my school you would understand it. We called it, I think, the upper field. I don't know, this was middle school. So anyways, I didn't finish my run until nearly everyone was walking down and some people were already in the locker room. And so the teachers had these golf cart thingies that they would drive around in, and since mine was evil, she said, I would drive you down, but I saw you walk most of that mile, so I'm not gonna. So I had to walk down and possibly be late for my next class. By the time I got down there, the bell had rung and everybody was leaving. And I, at this point, just didn't give a crap. I just went into the bathroom and sat there for a while. Now here's where the fun begins. I started feeling really dizzy and eventually even lost my hearing and sight temporarily. It was very scary. At this point, everybody had left, so I stood up and opened the stall door and collapsed immediately. Don't worry, I was wearing pants. So I kind of just laid there for a few seconds and then eventually got up and went into the office that the PE teacher was in. Could you imagine if I didn't go tell the PE teacher? The kids would come down and see somebody passed out in the bathroom. They'd probably think I'm dead. So I dizzily walked into the PE teacher's office. Is dizzily even a word? I don't know. But I said I wasn't feeling good, and so she called the nurse to come down with, you guessed it, a wheelchair. This has become a reoccurring thing. So I got my things and was wheelchaired over to the nurse's office. Now, this is where you'd think they'd send me home, right? Nope. They just gave me a drink, a granola bar, said rest a little, and sent me back off to class. Granted, I didn't really tell them that I nearly passed out, but still, they kinda should have known better and sent me home. So those were the 3 stories from when I passed out. Leave a comment saying if you want me to do more story times, because I have a lot of stories that are kind of interesting. And also leave a comment saying if you've ever passed out, maybe sharing your own story from when that happened. And make sure to leave a like and subscribing and all that stuff. And have a nice day. Bye!